Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are going to be making this two-piece custom content for our Sims 4 game. So this is going to be like a 5-6 part series on how to make very detailed custom content outfits for the Sims 4. So the softwares I'm going to be using for this and for the entire series are Marvellous Designer, which is this very first video, then Blender, ZBrush, Substance Painter, Photoshop. Then I'm going to need our Sims 4 Studio, then also our game for testing. So this first part, we are going to focus on how to create our mesh from scratch using Marvellous Designer. I'm currently using Marvellous Designer version 25. The interface is almost the same thing with previous versions. It's just slight difference. So whatever new thing you see on my own interface, it should be somewhere on your older interface, but probably under a different name. So please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you have any question, please just leave it in the comment section below and I'll try to answer as best as I can. Thank you, and let's get started. We'll draw the outline of a top first. That's a full top. Click Z and right click, then open with symmetric pattern, unfold with symmetric pattern, then you copy and paste, Ctrl C, Ctrl V to get the pattern for the back piece. Arrange well, place accordingly. Then you right click, then flip normals so that this bright side will be showing, then the shadow will be beneath. Then the next thing, you go to your sewing and click on segment sewing. Click on the shoulder and on the side, because we are folded with symmetric editing, both sides sewing line will come up at the same time. Then for the neck, you adjust it. Hit C to pick your curve, then you curve the neck of the front pattern. Then you simulate. One of the ways to eliminate these clippings is to select all your avatar faces. Then there's something called avatar smoothing on previous versions of Marvellous Designer, but now we have dividing mesh. Just click on it and set it to 2 and it will eliminate some of the clippings on the dress. Another way is to adjust the pattern to make the pattern a little bit bigger than what you already have, to make it sit comfortably on the top, on the avatar. And the last way is to reduce your particle distance, but we haven't gotten there yet. So now what we'll do is, since our pattern is clipping into the body, we'll have to adjust the armhole. So now I'll try to get the midpoint of this shoulder line. So you hit X on your keyboard, then you right click on one point, then you click on uniform split to split the line into 2 equal parts. This is just to get a guideline so that you know the center point on the shoulder part. Using an eternal line from that our marked center point, I'm trying to get the real neckline I'm going to be using for this design. So one of the beautiful things about unfolding with symmetric pattern is what you draw on one side will be reflected on the other side. So once you are done with it, from your 3D viewport, check if you are okay with how the internal lines are placed. If not, you can adjust it by moving it upwards or downwards, or rearranging the curves. So what you have for the once you've done for the front pattern, if you want to repeat the same thing for the back pattern, go ahead and do it. Then adjust your internal lines as you want them. Then your pattern, you adjust it according to how you want it to look like. So mine, I'm just going to make my top a little bit shorter than it is, because it's supposed to be like a bra tube top. So I think this length is okay. Then I'll just go and increase the particle distance a bit, reduce the particle distance a bit, sorry, so that I will get rid of some of the clippings. Once you found the midpoint of the shoulder line, to get this curve with internal line, click on the first point, then drag it to your next point. Instead of clicking, instead of clicking and letting go, you click and hold to form this your curve. I like simulating anytime I'm done putting any internal line to see exactly the position of the internal line on the 3D viewport. So you can decide to do that or not. So after that, I'll just go ahead, then cut and sew all internal lines that I've drawn out so far for the back pattern and the front pattern, both for the neck line and the waist. So one of the tricks I like using is, instead of deleting this other pattern from this neckline, I'll just assign it a separate fabric. Then I will name it invisible. I mean, I'm not going to be using it for anything, but I'll just rename it. I'll turn down the object opacity, the fabric opacity to 0, so that it will not be visible on my 3D viewport. Yes, so that when I simulate, my fabric won't fall off from the shoulders, or it will not go out of shape from my avatar. So that is kind of holding it down. So I'll just do that. Once I'm done with all of this, I'll just adjust this band at the bottom part of our shirt to make it a little bit smaller than the other parts of the top pattern. Then I'll straighten these curved edges. I think that's all. Then a little adjustment here and there, and that is all the major things I need to do for this top. To add more finer details, I'll just offset every edge as internal line by 5 millimeters. That's the distance I'll use. All edges, both around the armhole, the neckline, the waistband. Then I'll cut and sew to give this effect of a seam line instead of using top stitching, because I'm trying to reduce the the mesh load because of our Sims 4 criteria of the 15k max polygon and vertices, whatever. So once, if I use top stitch, it's going to add a lot more vertices, polygons to my mesh. So instead, I'll just give an illusion that we have a lot more details, and it's actually going to show if you do it this way. After I've done that, I just rearrange my mesh and we are done with the pattern for this top. So once you're done with rearranging, you just select all, move to one side, then you select all again, then you Ctrl K to freeze it in place so that whatever it is you are doing for the bottom part, it won't affect this top part. So we'll start with our basic polygon. You draw this shape because this is the shape the top of our skirt is going to take. Then you assign this fabric, you assign this mesh a new fabric and name it skirt, since it's the skirt we are making. Then you click Z on your keyboard and unfold with symmetric pattern. So then what you do is you copy and paste so that you can get the same pattern for our back piece. Then when you are done with that, just drag it to the back, arrange it accordingly, right click, then you flip normal so that the bright side will be facing outside. Now what I like to do is I like to remove linked editing because I won't be needing it for any other thing anymore, because what I have here is what I have on the opposite side, so that when I'm sewing I won't have problem with intersecting sewing lines. That's one of the reasons I'm removing the linked editing for this part. After making some of this adjustment, you click on our rectangle tool to create a rectangle. Then what I'll do, I'll impute the width and the height of my desired length to fit whatever it is I'm envisioning. Then I'll click on OK when I'm done with it. So what I'm going to do, I'll click on Z, click on one end of our rectangle, then I'll offset as interline line. I'll set my distance to 12 millimeter and increase the number of offsets until the entire rectangle box is filled with red lines. Then I'll click on OK. Then I'll copy this rectangle and paste it to use for the back pattern also. So next I'll click on the pleat fold option, click on the first box, then you double click on the last box, then I use accord pleat. I'm using the default settings for this pleat. I'll do it both on the front for the rectangle for the front pattern and for the rectangle for the back pattern. Quick side note please, before you use your pleat option for your back pattern, make sure you adjust it and make sure that you are flipped normal before you do any other thing, like before you use the pleat option for your back pattern. So when I'm done with that, I'll just go to the sewing tool and click free sewing. Since the one part I'm joining to the other part, one is longer than the other, so I have to use free sewing. So once I've done that, I've run it through the upper part of the skirt, then I'll click on it, then run it through the second part of the skirt, then click on it, and that's it. What I've done for this part of the this back pattern, I'll make sure I repeat the same thing for the front pattern. Then once I'm done with that, I'll just click on the bottom part of the skirt. I'll Ctrl H, which is to strengthen it before I hit my space bar to simulate. I'll just go ahead and add a little bit more finer details to the edges of the skirt by cutting and sewing some parts to give the illusion of a seam running across its all edges. So that's what I'm going to do now. After I've done that, I'll just click on the bottom part of the skirt, then I will unfreeze it so that we'll see the pattern. Then what I would also do, I also reduce the size of this tiny waistband, yes, to make it, to give our normal illusion of more finer details. So yeah. and you see that your pleats are no longer arranged, what I usually do, I'll click on this bottom part of the skirt that has the pleat, I'll click on it back, then I'll Control H, that's I'll freeze it. Sorry, not freeze, I'll Control H to strengthen it. The pleats, they will rearrange back. Once I've done that, I will on strengthen it, and I'll simulate. Then you see that our pleats will be arranged properly. So I'm just going to properly place my mesh, then I will adjust, I will reduce the particle distance to make up my mesh, because this is for high poly. So I'll set it to 10. I'll set all my mesh, the particle distance, I have to set everything to 10, then I'll simulate it. That's for my high poly. Take note, this is what I'm using for my high poly. I don't want to go lower than this because of my PC. I don't want to give it too much workload. And 10 looks very okay for me. But you can go lower though to get more finer details. So I'll just rearrange the placement of my mesh, then I'll freeze all of it. Then I'll go to Windows and click on UV editor. Then what I'll do, I'll rearrange to 2D, then I'll click only on the mesh that I'm going to be needing. Then I'll fit to UV to 1 to 0. I think that's how it is there. Once we've done that, I'll go back to my 2D window so that I can export my high poly mesh. But make sure that your 3D mesh is freezed. Then I'll pick my folder where I want to save my high poly mesh. I'll save it as high poly, then I'll save it. Please let your settings be exactly how mine is looking on the screen. Single object, weld, pin, unified UV coordinate. So that the things you click, or don't click on any other thing. Then whatever you see here, make sure that's what is still on your own. Then you click on OK. With that, we've exported our high poly mesh. Next, click on all your mesh and increase the particle distance to like 15 or 20 for our low poly mesh. So I'm using 15. Then once you've done that, make sure you simulate once you've increased the particle distance, but don't unfreeze your mesh so that it will not move out of place. Once you've done that, you make sure that all your mesh, they are selected. Then you click on File, Export OBJ selected. Then you save it as low poly. Then you save it. The same settings you use to save your high poly mesh, that's the same settings you will use for this your low poly mesh. And with that, we are done with the first part of this our 16 mesh. See you in Blender.